And we're back on the Mott's West podcast. In case you missed it, or you're just going to skip right to part two on the YouTube, normally, like I said, I like to have the shows well produced with background music and drops and sounds and things, but I think that YouTube doesn't like that because the music, of course, is not licensed. I didn't pay for it, I don't own it. So we're just going to go with my voice. Although, like I said, being able to do the whole show live keeps me on my toes, saves me time on editing, but you got to do what you got to do. So, Mott Sports West, let's get into it. We cover all your West Coast teams, LA teams, Rams, Lakers, Dodgers, and sometimes we'll get into those other little brother teams too if they make a little bit of noise. So anyway, Rams. It is NFL draft time, and yesterday was the second round in the draft where the Rams had their first picks, where they could start picking. So in the second round of the draft, the Rams selected center Steve Avila from TCU, linebacker Byron Young from Tennessee, and defensive tackle Kobe Turner from Wake Forest. If you don't know the names, just go Google them. I'm pretty sure they'll have their highlights on YouTube. You can Google, their draft day. They'll have their highlights, their upsides, their downsides. So, of course, if you paid attention or followed the Rams last season, huge problem for them was their O-line. They were literally on their fourth and fifth string O-line personnel. All of their O-line was injured for the whole season. Matthew Stafford had no protection whatsoever. So we're looking forward to, well, I won't say looking forward to this season because it seems like there's something going on with the Rams and Dodgers. I think they're both kind of, they're both exploring or both trying to do the same thing. And I'll kind of explain late. Well, no, I'll explain it now because there's no break, there's no nothing. I'll explain it now. So it seems that the Rams and Dodgers have the same philosophy this year, which means this year is actually setting up the 2024 season. And what I mean by that is there are huge names available next year, next season, that the Dodgers and Rams could get. For the Rams, that name is USC quarterback Caleb Williams, who was considered the best quarterback in college football last year, Heisman Trophy winner, I want to say. Might be wrong. But highly considered to be the best quarterback in college football. He's going to play one more year and then come out for the 2024 draft. The Rams let go of a lot of their stars during the offseason, including Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, Allen Robinson, you name it. They just let them go, let them walk out of the door. In fact, the only real names there left are Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, and Cooper Kupp. So we think that they're going to probably tank this year in hopes of getting Caleb Williams, which is a huge possibility for the Rams. They do have, one, if they have a horrible season, they're going to be one of the first teams picking in the draft, and they do have enough assets to where they can actually trade up to get their guy Caleb Williams. I don't know if they're going to go first, if they're going to pick first in next year's draft, but a lot of people or a lot of the football heads are saying that if the Rams can manage a 2-15 season, because remember the football season is now 17 games, so if they can manage just 2 wins and 15 losses, then that'll put them in a good spot to pick up Williams. Moving on to the Dodgers. Dodgers, kind of same thing. They are kind of making space for a superstar that they could possibly get next year. The Dodgers, for the last 10 years, in whether you know or not, have had the best roster in baseball for a decade. And this year, they, like the Rams, let go of quite a bit of their stars, not re-signing them, and kind of kept a handful of stars. Julio Urias, Mookie Betts. Again, they got Tony Gonsolin they kept, who just came back off of injury. And, of course, um, oh my gosh, Clayton Kershaw is still there. So, other than that, oh, and of course, Michael Thompson's son, Trace Thompson, in the outfield. He's a big bat for them. So, other than that, they too let go of a lot of talent to make more money, to clear more money, because they hope to sign free agent next year Shohei Ohtani from the Angels. They actually could get him sooner than next year in a trade deal, or could get him in free agency after this year, and Shohei Ohtani could get up to $600 million to play for another team. And the Dodgers are a definite possibility. He wants to be on the West Coast. He just kind of picked the wrong team. So that's what's going on. So right now the Dodgers have a kind of average roster, and they're doing about average right now. They've got just around a 500 record. And going back to what I wanted this podcast and all the podcasts I've done to be, is a podcast for quote-unquote dummies, where we don't just, or I don't just spit out these, sports words and jargon and all these words that you don't know, like 500 per se, without explaining what they mean, because like I said, I want this to be for girlfriends, wives who don't get what their husbands and boyfriends and their friends are talking about when they're talking about sports. You hear all these words that you don't know, and they say them, and everybody's like, yeah, okay, yeah, and everybody knows what everybody's talking about, and you're wondering, what are they talking about? So when they say a team is 500, they really mean .50, and in other words, 50%. So that means a team has won about 50% of their games, meaning they've won the same number of games that they've lost. So let's say if they've played 2 games the whole season, they won 1, lost 1. They played 10 games, that means they won 5, lost 5, 50%. Get it? If they've played 100 games, they won 50, lost 50. So being 500 means you're winning as many games as you've lost. You won about as many games as you've lost. Now, I'm not an expert in baseball, but I do listen to the talking heads in baseball. And right now, in the immediate moment, they're kind of scared that the Dodgers are underachieving, because they are. It's been about a month into the season. Dodgers have a 14-13 record, 14 wins, 13 losses. Win number 14 coming against the Cardinals, my other city in St. Louis, with a 7-3 win yesterday. So they're kind of scared, because normally if a team is around 500, they have a chance at maybe putting together a couple of wins and moving up in the rankings. But a lot of the experts have doubts of the Dodgers' ability to pull themselves out of that area. Because before, when they had a Superman team, it was just a matter of time before they, started racking up wins and getting into the playoffs. Now, it may be a possibility. It may not be a possibility, because there are quite a few teams that are better than average and better than what the Dodgers have right now. The Dodgers will play the Cardinals again today and tomorrow. Today, first pitch will be in LA at 6:10, and they'll play again another game tomorrow. So that'll be interesting to watch, my 2 cities kind of playing against each other, which would be all right. I like it. And the Lakers, with a win last night, advancing to the second round. Dillon Brooks, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You asked for a 40 burger, you got a 40 burger dropped on you, courtesy of the whole damn Lakers roster. And that was all in the process of sending your ass home. So, Dillon Brooks, we will see you probably next season on the Shanghai Sharks. I hope you like steamed buns, buddy. So anyway, the Lakers, like I said, advanced with a 125-85 win last night over the Grizzlies. They're gonna wait to see who they play between the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors. They will play tomorrow, and the winner of that will face the Lakers on Tuesday, and that will be game one of the second round in their Western Conference. That game to be followed by the New York Miami game one. So that is your Mott Sports West. Now I'd like to go to some lighter stuff. I like to do a temperature check with you guys to see what you're watching, what you're binging on TV, and to see if we can connect on the Twitters or the Instagrams or whatever. So in case you guys didn't know or didn't figure it out, I'm a real sci-fi nerd, Marvel nerd, Star Wars nerd, whatever. So I just finished watching Star Trek Picard, which was season 3 and the last season of the show. It was the third season, last season of the show, which was, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a tearjerker because it was basically like a 9-part movie. This, like, season 3 could have been in theaters and probably would have sold a lot because it got the cast of the Next Generation together. I'm talking everybody. Will Riker, Geordie LaForge, which was LeVar Burton, the guy with the grill over his face, Data, the android, Dr. Crusher, just Worf, the Klingon. Man, everybody was in it, and it was amazing to me, at least, because it brought me back to my childhood, and it actually ended the whole Next Generation Star Trek story on a good note for me. And it looks like there might be a spinoff because some of the kids of the crew of the Next Generation are they are actually going to be flying the newest version of the Starship Enterprise, which is captained by, if you watched Voyager 7 of 9, she was the Jerry Ryan character. She was the sexy Borg woman that was liberated from the Borg and turned back into a human. She got her human memories. She helped the crew of the Voyager. Then in Star Trek Picard, we learned that she actually left Starfleet and became what they call a space ranger, which are kind of like bounty hunters or sheriffs that kind of don't fall under the jurisdiction of the Federation, but they're still good guys. They still fight for law and justice throughout the galaxy. They just don't follow the ledger of the Federation. So then in season 3, she's become first officer on a starship, which I won't spoil it for you, but I don't know if you're going to watch it anyway. She becomes the first officer on a ship that Picard needs to commandeer or to steal to complete a mission. So I won't spoil it for you. It's still fairly new. It just ended a week or two ago. So if you want to go back and watch it, and then I'll spoil it for you in about a week or so. So that's what I'm watching. And I'm also looking forward to Secret Invasion from Marvel, and I'm also looking forward to Star Wars Ahsoka. I just finished watching The Mandalorian. This season 3 was okay. It took a while to get to the point, which was pretty cool, but yeah, so season 3 of The Mandalorian I did like, although it kind of dragged and seemed disjointed kind of in the middle section. So there you have it, and that's what you're watching. And I like to end things off on my travels, and like I said, I want to do a YouTube, get the YouTube thing going so you guys can see. You can also follow me on Instagram at RealMotts, RealM.A.T.T.S on Instagram, or you can follow the podcast, Motts West Podcast, on on Instagram, and I'll be putting pictures of the travels that I go on or whatever. And I like to eat. So I visited my sister in Vegas, both WrestleMania weekend, and we had a chance to try a restaurant that I've been wanting to try for the longest time. I've been seeing it on Instagram, and instantly I was hooked. It's a Mexican restaurant called La Vecindad, and which I am probably messing up the pronunciation. It's off of, I want to say Sahara. I'm so horrible. It's it's off of Sahara, and it's called La Vecindad, or La Vecinidad, or La Vecindad, or La Vecinidad, or La Vecindad. Basically, it's La Vecindad, something like that. If you look it up, you'll find them on Instagram. It's not just a Mexican restaurant. It's a crazy Mexican restaurant, really decorated in the vibrant old Mexico colors, and they have specialty dishes and challenges. Like they have this huge sandwich that you can order, and you have to finish it in a certain amount of time. And sorry, the name of the sandwich. Oh man, I don't know what it's called in Spanish right now, but it's there. It's these sandwiches that they have in Mexican restaurants, and I can't think of the name right now because I'm having brain farts again. But they also have what they call a molcajete, which is one of those stone bowls that they normally put guacamole or salsa in. Only they're a bigger sized, and they heat them up to just like grill fire lava temperature. They put meat inside of them with sauce. They put chicken, shrimp, steak, cactus, cheese, onions, everything, and they put a hot sauce in them. And they have one that is a what they call the fire molcajete, which is right up my alley, which I should try, and I'm going to try next time I go there. It has Reaper peppers in it, which is the hottest pepper in the world. They're one of, if not the only restaurant that I know of, or on the West Coast that does something, or near the West Coast that does something like that. There are other restaurants that I'm pretty sure have spicy foods like ghost pepper flavored this or that, but they're the only restaurant that has a molcajete with, I believe it's, if not just Reaper pepper, it's all the peppers. It's ghost pepper, scorpion, and Reaper, which are the three hottest peppers in the world in that order: ghost, scorpion, Reaper. So next time I go, I'm definitely going to take some pictures and video, which will probably be end of May, sometime in June. And with that, this is the Mott's West Podcast, signing off. See you next time.